Okay, so what if I told you that the best monitor for the PS5 isn't actually a 4K monitor? You'll think I'm crazy, right? But no, in fact, actually the monitor that I prefer and the monitor that I suggest everybody should get is a monitor from ASUS. This is the VG27AQL1A. Once again, that was a mouthful. But what makes this 1440p monitor better than other monitors that are on the market today? Well, for starters, this is not your normal 1440p monitor. No, actually this monitor is able to upscale to 4K or downscale to 1080p.
But isn't that gonna make the quality blurry?
Well, actually no, because I made a whole video about this. I tested it out for myself to showcase that no, this monitor in fact does not make blurry footage whenever it upscales or downscales any type of footage or gameplay. If you want to check out that video, I'm going to link it up in the top right hand corner of the screen so you guys can go check that out. But what about HDMI 2.1 monitors? I mean, they are now coming out and there's a couple that are on the market right now. Shouldn't those be the best ones to use? Well, yeah, they would be, but the price for them is kind of up there. You're going to be paying a pretty penny, and actually you're going to be paying far more than what the PS5 costs. So I didn't want to recommend any of those because obviously it's not going to be in the price range of a lot of you guys out there. One of the main benefits of an HDMI 2.1 monitor is that it's able to output a gameplay signal of 4K at 120 Hertz. So you're able to play at a very high quality while also playing at a very high refresh rate. And that has been the main issue with HDMI 2.0 monitors, because you could either play at 1080p at 120 FPS or 4K at 60 FPS. But you just can't get the best of both worlds. But with this monitor, you're able to upscale or downscale depending on what game you want to play on. And that's a big issue because there's a lot of games like FPS games, like let's say Call of Duty, which are games that you want to play in a high refresh rate setting. And then there's other games, maybe like something that's more storyline based, that you prefer playing at a higher quality, but don't really care too much about the frame rate. But because most HDMI 2.0 monitors only pick and choose one or the other, this monitor is really good because it allows you to choose one or the other with one singular monitor. So the point that I'm getting is that you don't have to buy two monitors. Also, another great thing about this monitor is that it does use an IPS panel, which means that it does use in-plane switching, which that means is that you're gonna have better color accuracy and also better viewing angles. So you might not have to be directly in front of the monitor, or maybe you could be off to the side and you'll still get the same great viewing angles. If you're playing on a TN panel, which I did have in the past on my BenQ, those monitors have terrible viewing angles. The color accuracy is terrible. Most of the time it's always grayed out. So at least with this monitor, even if you're playing at a downscale footage, you're also going to be playing at a very nice color setting. Speaking of settings, this monitor has a great range of settings that you could choose from. I actually made a whole video about this, which you could also check out up here, but just to get you a quick understanding of what I'm talking about. Besides being able to change up the whole RGB color scheme that most monitors can do, this monitor also has different modes that you could choose from. So you could choose like FPS, racing, etc., to really customize what experience you're looking for. Currently, I'm using the racing setting with a lot of different tweaks on the RGB side, and I find this to be the best for FPS games. Don't ask me why, I just do find it the best, and I have recommended to everybody, and a lot of people agree with me. Also, this monitor does have shadow boost, which is great for games that have different types of lighting. Here I showcase what happens when I was playing Apex, and you can just see the difference in gameplay, and this really helps out a ton when you're playing games like Apex Legends. It really brightens up the area, and if there's like any enemies that are hiding in plain sight, well, guess what? You're gonna be able to see them with this setting. This monitor also does have a very low input lag time and response time, which is huge whenever you're playing games. That's why most people play on a monitor rather than a TV, because the response time and input lag time on a TV is going to be way higher than on a monitor. But rest assured, this monitor, even though it's an IPS panel, it does have very low response time and a very low input lag time. Now that's it for the PS5 side of things. I don't think the rest of the settings I'm gonna be going over are really gonna be for the PS5 users. This is more for the PC users because, of course, I game on the PC and the PS5 as well. This monitor does have 130% sRGB, and it also is HDR, so do expect very, very rich colors whenever you're using any type of software, or maybe you're video editing or color grading, anything of that sort. It looks great on this monitor. Also, this is a 10-bit panel, so if you're really picky on what colors you want to use, especially for color grading, of course, you gotta get a 10-bit panel for that, all right? This monitor is great for that. It has a huge array of colors, which means that color accuracy is gonna be phenomenal on this monitor. This monitor also does use adaptive sync. So if you have a NVIDIA GPU or an AMD GPU, you could utilize adaptive sync because it works for both types of GPUs. So for the streamers out there or the YouTube content creators, I don't know, anybody that plays games and wants to record footage to a capture card on their PC, this monitor, because it's able to upscale to 4K or downscale to 1080p, you can actually buy a 4K capture card, which I have right now, and I'm able to record at a very high quality, such as 4K, and I could edit it and post it up, even though I'm not technically playing in 4K. And that's another huge factor that not a lot of people consider whenever they are buying different monitors, but it's great that this monitor does allow that feature. Another great quality of life feature that this monitor does possess is that, let's say you're playing on the PS5 the night before, and then now you boot up your PC and you want to switch the source over to the PC. Well, what's great is that this monitor will automatically detect that, hey, you switched over to the PC, and it will just automatically shift over to the PC. I'm so happy that this monitor has that, because all the time I play PS5 at night, and then in the morning I use my PC to edit or do any type of work. So it's great that I never have to change the source on this monitor. But that basically sums up all the settings, all the tips, all the things that I wanted to talk about this specific ASUS monitor. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below. Of course, I'm happy to help you guys out, and I've also linked a bunch of different videos related to this monitor, so you can check those out to see if maybe some of your questions might be in those videos as well. I know there's a ton of different monitors out there that are kind of similar to this one, but after a lot of research and testing, I do find that this is the best monitor that I personally recommend. And even up to now, when I bought this like a year ago, I still use it today. I have not ran into any issues, and I have been seeing a lot of positive feedback from the community, from people who have bought this monitor as well. But of course, if you did buy a different monitor, maybe from a different brand like MSI or Gigabyte, let me know in the comment section down below, because I think a lot of people like to have different options to look at. So let people know, let me know, and maybe I talk about it in a future video. Let's see. And in terms of HDMI 2.1 monitors, of course, like I said earlier, they are quite expensive right now. Even the TVs are quite expensive, but of course, TVs do have a higher input lag and response time. That's why I don't typically talk about TVs on this channel. I do prefer monitors all the time. I mean, if you're a PS5 gamer or a PC gamer, you should be using a monitor, all right? At least like in the competitive scenario. If you're just playing games on story mode, then yeah, a TV is perfect for you. But for the competitive setting and games that are very rough and you're gonna be dying a lot, or a BR game like that, then yeah, definitely stick to a monitor. But I think I rambled on long enough. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys have any questions whatsoever, of course. And make sure to check out my Discord. It is linked in the description. If you guys have any questions that you need answered right away, head on over to my Discord and you can ask me there. And that basically sums it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Matthew, but of course, peace out.